About that game on Sunday where the Baltimore Ravens stood their ground at home and put a beat down on the visiting Houston Texans.
It's an understatement.
Beat them 41-7. Lamar Jackson has 4 total touchdowns. Storm, what do you have to make of all of this?
Yeah, I mean, I picked Baltimore to win. Not by that much, though. I thought maybe Houston had a chance to cover. I think it wound up closing at like 5.5 when we talked.
Yeah, it was a little
at
less than
4.5, so I thought, field goal or something like that. But, man, I'll tell you what. The NFL just doesn't have an answer for Lamar Jackson right now. Whether he's running Hollywood Brown, I mean, they just look good. Both tight ends, Mark Andrews, Hayden Hurst, right? Is that his other name?
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
And even not even just the offense, but that defense, man. That defensive line is feasting right now, and they look really, really good. And
past couple weeks, man.
Yeah, Houston's O-line suspect at best, so you expect them to eat a little bit. But boy, I mean, they're built the way a Super Bowl champion's supposed to be built, and that's running the ball and built on defense, and they're doing it all right now. I mean, it's not even just Lamar Jackson running the ball. Mark Ingram is unbelievable. Like, he came out, like, no one knew what he was going to have left after he left the Saints, you know what I mean?
Because he spent so much time as a secondary back, too. He hadn't been a workhorse
Kamara,
since Kamara got
and then
there.
all of a sudden, he's a bruiser, man. And him standing up for Lamar Jackson in the press conference afterwards, too. That team's just got it going right now.
Yeah, that locker room seems like they're really vibing right now, man. And
I love when
and honestly, that's what Harbaugh's known for. He's not X's and O guys. He's a rah-rah guy.
He took a chance with Lamar Jackson. I mean, his career was depending on that, or his coaching career with the Ravens, I should say.
From Flacco to Lamar Jackson, polar opposites. They had to totally change the offense and the culture on that team.
He did great. Yeah, but like right now, this team is the best team in the AFC and probably in the NFL, no question. But if you have to go into New England in January, and Billy B already saw you once, I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago. I just don't want to put all my eggs in their basket yet for an AFC Conference Championship game.
Yeah, especially it's tough because of how young he still is. You haven't seen him yet. Like last year in that playoff game against the Chargers, he shit the bed. He had like 4 completions until like midway through the fourth quarter. It was terrible. No, but I'm with you. I'm not going to go on about the Ravens too much because you kind of hit a lot of the points. Like, let's just be real. Lamar is damn good.
Betting favorite in Vegas right now for the MVP,
plain and simple.
Man.
Like, I'm done with all the exceptions and the excuses about why he's succeeding. I mean, this guy just makes freaking plays. And I'll be the first to admit, I underestimated what he was going to be able to do in this offense.
Absolutely.
I was very skeptical throughout the first couple weeks of the season, and they have played some pretty cupcake teams, so you got to take that in consideration. But man, this guy is good. And with that run game, not just Mark Ingram, but they also got Gus Edwards rolling right now, man. Like you said, Hollywood Brown's a burner. Willie Snead's a reliable guy. Mark Andrews about as good as a tight end as you can find in the league right now. That offense is freaking humming. And then, like you said, the defense. I don't know what the hell switch they flipped, but ever since
Marcus Peters.
Yeah, ever since they got Marcus Peters, and granted, that also timed out a little bit with when Jimmy Smith was getting back into the lineup. But whatever happened there, the whole defense has just erupted. They went from being like a bottom 5-7 defense to arguably one of the top 3 defensive units in the league, if only because of just how fast they fly around the field and their ability to make big game-shifting plays.
And so I forget what his name is, the DN there. Judon? Is his name Judon?
Yeah, Judon, yeah.
I mean, he was ripping apart what the hell's his name?
Tunsil?
Yeah. I mean, that's who you gave up 2 first-round picks for, and that man was having himself a field day on that guy.
Yeah,
and you're going to have to pay Tunsil? Ooh, I'd be scared if I was Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, so I'll kind of use that as a segue.
Yeah,
no, you're fine. That's perfect, actually, because I can segue then to talking about the Texans, who I reluctantly admit were my pick to win this game. And honestly, I was just really disappointed watching this game. I'm not a Texans fan, but as anybody who listens to the podcast knows, I am a big Deshaun Watson fan, and man, was this a really disappointing endeavor for him. Like, Deshaun, I really did expect better. I've come to know you as the guy who can lift your team up when you're struggling, and even if you're not winning the game, you're keeping your team within spitting distance of getting the win. So I really expected this to be a duel between 2 MVP frontrunners for both of them, to duel it out, both have some highs, some lows, and it come down to the last minute. But Deshaun, 169 yards on 18 of 29 passing, threw an interception. Not good enough. And I get it. He was sacked 6 times, and that kind of brings us all to what the Texans' primary issue is. That is the offensive line. And obviously they gave away 2 picks for Tunsil, who isn't having the immediate impact, and the rest of that offensive line is no good either. But I got to put some of this on Deshaun as well. He holds the ball for too long, and it really showed in this game against a defense that can fly around like Baltimore. And I don't know whether to put that solely on him or on Bill O'Brien's play calling. Maybe he's got to get more creative and not just be sending these speedsters in DeAndre Hopkins and Kenny Stills and Will Fuller when he's out there on deep post routes and fly routes and shit like that. But he needs to get the ball out quicker. So I was just disappointed. This moves Deshaun firmly out of the MVP conversation. I don't even think he should be considered anymore.
Yeah, right.
It was that bad of a game in that big of a moment against one of the two guys who are in the conversation with you. It's between Lamar and Russ right now.
Yeah, and I think there's only one person or two people outside looking in. That's McCaffrey and Mahomes. And they probably won't give it to a running back. So
Mahomes isn't going to do it because his team isn't good enough, and he missed those couple games. And it's going to be too tough for McCaffrey to win it as a running back if they don't make the playoffs, which at this point I don't think they will. And then real quick on the Texans defense, it's bad. They lost J.J. Watt, and it's showing. Those DBs are slow. They're not great at covering and not having a pass rush, giving the quarterback, especially a mobile one like Lamar Jackson, all day to figure out what he's going to do. It doesn't work. Like, I know the Colts are struggling a little bit as well. I still think Houston's going to get into the playoffs, either winning the division or as a wild card. I think they're good enough to do that. But beyond the first weekend of the playoffs, I really don't see much.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely missing J.J. Watt. I mean, when he left, he was leading the league in pressures by a good amount.
Yeah,
and
obviously.
That gives your cornerbacks not much time to cover these receivers, and you're starting to show that they really can't cover these receivers.
Even in his advanced age, he still showed that he knew how to get after the quarterback. He played the run smartly. He was good at sealing the edge. So he's obviously missed on that Texans team. So congratulations, Baltimore. I agree with you. I think they're the best team in the AFC right now. Obviously, I have concerns if they have to face Belichick a second time. That's not easy for anyone. But New England also has their concerns as well, which we will talk about in the back half of the show.